Hi, on today's show,
we're going to talk to you about sound settings in your new 2016 NEX radio. So stay tuned. For those of you out there that still care about making your car sound amazing, the new NEX products have one heck of an EQ that allow you to do that. So what we're going to do today is walk you through most of the cool features that they have. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, so to start out, make sure you're on a source. Go ahead and click gears. Come down here to this guy right here. This is supposed to be a radiating speaker. So go ahead and click there. Now, top of the list is the EQ. Go ahead and tap it. It's a 13-band EQ. You have two custom settings. So you can go in here and you can mess it all up. And then you can come over here and you can do the same thing. And now you have two unique settings. Along with those two unique settings, you also have super bass, powerful, natural, vocal, flat, custom 1 and custom 2. So once you've gone ahead and made custom 1 and 2, you don't actually have to go back into the setup to do it. Now, one other neat thing about the EQ is if you're on the radio and you see over here it says EQ, go ahead and tap it and you can change the EQ, hit X, and if you'll notice, the icon for the EQ will change to mimic what you have set up. So for example, as you can see, it's kind of stair-steppy. We'll come over here, go to the graphic EQ, we'll change it to flat, and now you can see it's flat. You know, Easter egg. Not everyone knew about that. Okay, so we'll go back here. Now let's talk a little bit about EQ, because a lot of you guys have questions. You have plus 12 and minus 12. That's how loud or less loud you would like something. Then you have all these numbers across the bottom, starting at 50, 80, 125, 200, 315, 500, 800, 1.25K, 2K, 3.1K, 5K, 8K, and 12.5K. Now what do those all mean? Well, 50 Hertz is bass, 12.5K is extreme treble. So when you're adjusting, the 50 to 125 is basically going to be your bass frequencies. From about 5K to 8 to 5K up is going to be your tweeter frequencies. Then everything in the middle would be considered mid-range. So when you're adjusting this, this is going to boost the bass, this is going to boost the treble. And this section right here is for the mid-range. Now hit the back arrow. Of course, it has a balance and fader, which you can actually just do this. You don't have to, but for fine tuning, you can come here. Mute level. You have a couple different choices. Now, what this has to do with is this is a navigation unit, and she's going to talk and she's going to mute. You can have it attenuate, which means it's just going to reduce it. You can have it mute, which means it's just going to shut it off. So when she goes to talk, it just goes away. Or you can have it off, meaning you don't want any mute at all. Source level adjust. Source level adjust basically allows you to boost the levels of something other than FM. So if you have a Bluetooth source or an aux source, you can go in and you can turn those up and down. The reason why it's grayed out is because we're on FM. Rear speaker select and subwoofer. They both say on. Now what these are used for is they say off now. These are really great if you have rear seat entertainment hooked up and you have kids in the back and they have headphones on and you want to be able to turn off the rear speakers and subwoofers so it doesn't interfere with them listening through their headphones. It's also really nice when you're trying to tune the system because you can turn off everything but the front speakers and get it to sound really good up front and then work them back in. Speaker level. Speaker level gives you the ability to adjust the volume independently for each speaker. So you have front left, rear, front right, rear, and subwoofer. Now this becomes very helpful when we get to our next thing, which is going to be listening position. You have the ability to put in a generic listening position or off. So let's concentrate on front left. Okay, we'll go back here. And now the next thing that comes up is time alignment. We'll go ahead and click on that. Now what time alignment is the distance between you and your speaker. So for example, if you have a speaker mounted in the door, you can take a tape measure and measure from your head to that speaker and put those numbers in. You can do it all around to the subwoofer. Now, if you have a component up front where you have a tweeter, let's say high on the door, and a mid-range low on the door, you want to take the middle point between them and use that as the measurement. It's basically like an average. So once you've gone ahead and put those in, now you're going to, this gives you the ability to make sure that each speaker's sound is getting to your ear at the same time. Now, this, why we said was important for level control, is because now you can adjust the amount of, as you see it put in a -3, -5, -4. This was at 0. This is taking in consideration those basic distances. And just like the measurement, this is a generic setting. So now you want to go in and adjust these. What you're trying to do is make it sound like the sound is directly in front of the steering wheel or above the radio, the center of the dash, so that the main vocal is coming from there. It's a really cool feature once you get it all set up. Now, if you don't want to go through all this, we're going to go to the next setting, which is these two grayed out features right here. These are called auto EQ. And Pioneer makes an EQ you can buy for about 20 bucks. So to get the auto EQ to work, the first thing you need to do is turn the radio off. So go into your main menu, go to AV, click source off. Now go back to here, scroll up. As you can see, it's highlighted. So once you hit it, it's going to go ahead and open the door, and it's going to ask you to pick between front left or front right. You'll pick front left, and then you'll click start. You shut the doors, you do it in a nice quiet place, and it'll go ahead and it'll set all that stuff up for you. If you're interested in auto EQ, I will have a link down below for the microphone if you'd like to purchase one. If you've got a home stereo that had the same auto EQ settings, you could go ahead and use that microphone as well. We'll basically do the same thing. Now, after speaker level, we'll come in here and we'll talk about crossover. So this gives you the ability to have a front, rear, and sub crossover. And the nice thing about it on the NEX is it gives you the ability to turn each one off. So you can have your front crossover, you can have your rear crossover off or on, and you can do the same for subwoofer. You can have it on or off. So depending on what you're trying to do, you may or may not want these crossovers on, or you just might want one crossover on. So it gives you the ability to turn each one on and off. Now let's concentrate on what they'll do. So if you take your finger here and slide, you can adjust the frequency. The lower the frequency on a high pass, which front would be high pass, means you're going to get more bass. So if you come over here and slide it all the way, you'll be at 200 Hertz, which means you'll get less bass. You also have the ability to change the slope. It has 18, 12, or 6 dB. Now this is a graphical representation of what it's doing, and if you notice, this is 100 Hertz. So if we cross it over at 200 Hertz at 6 dB, that means we'll still be getting 100 Hertz playing back through the speaker, just at a reduced volume from the main track. So you'll still get some of that mid bass out of it. Now that might not be what you want. You might want it to stop at, let's say, 125 Hertz. You can still see you're going to get that 100 Hertz. It's just going to be way down here. So if you have like a 5 1/4 or something like that. So this is really cool to play with, and that's where that turning the speakers on and off come in handy. Because anytime you're setting a high pass crossover, you want to make sure the subwoofer is off, because you might be getting bass from there and you won't be able to hear when your speaker is bottoming out. Subwoofer setting is just going to take you to the subwoofer crossover. Don't ask me why. Now the last thing here is ASL. This is only available on the navigation systems. What this is going to give you the ability to do is it's the speed volume control. So some of the cars, when you go faster, it turns the volume up. On the navigation systems, if you hook up the VSS wire, which is the pink wire, you get the ability to use ASL. I will tell you it's nothing to get excited about, and I wouldn't recommend hooking up the VSS wire. It doesn't always work the way you want, and it's not totally needed. So this is, a basic overview of what all the buttons and features are built into the EQ. Obviously, the really nice thing is you can play with them and do what you want and have all the fun and hopefully not blow your speakers. Now, one cool feature built into the NEX is after you've played with it for a long time and you're like, oh man, it sounded better right out of the box. What do I do? And you're like, I gotta go back in and I don't even remember what I did. Well, good for you. This has restore settings just for audio. So let me show you how to do that. So what you want to do is hit the main button, AV, source off, gears, tools, scroll up, restore settings, audio settings, restore. Now that'll go ahead and bomb it back to out of the box, brand new, never been touched audio settings.
Yep.
So it's clean and ready for you to mess up again. Right? Cool. Alright.
So thank you for watching. You guys can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
If you have any questions about this, we understand this was a lot of stuff. Hopefully as quick as we could make it, and hopefully as informative as we can make it. But if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and we'll get back to you. Otherwise, you guys have a great night. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, subscribe. Otherwise, see you later. Bye.